I've been working on my H1 carbs, trying to convert them to a side idle, which pretty much got done. This is just a test carburetor, but I've got the side idle and the new caps, okay, to get rid of the hole up here. And what happened was I discovered something that kind of I thought I might share with the side idle, especially maybe on an older carburetor. And this has to do with carb syncing. And as you know, I kind of feel that if you want the best torque and everything and the starting and everything, that these carb syncs have to be just about spot on, or as close as we can get them. So when I kind of stumbled across this, I go, because this could make a perfect carb sync pretty much garbage in a matter of just an idle adjustment. So anyway, what I want to show you is, here I have an H2 carb that was loaned to me, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit, maybe. There we go. See if it'll focus. There we go. Okay. And it's got the standard old screw and the standard slide that was in it when I received it. And these are a 0.75 pitch, so it's 0.75 millimeter, which is 30 thousandths if you do roughly 29 or whatever, do the math. And so with one rev of this, we technically should get 30 thousandths of travel on the slide. So now I've got this open, here to about where it would be probably in an idle, which isn't the real point. What I wanted to show you is what these idle screws do, and probably the older they are, and the more worn they are in spots, and maybe even on the slide ramp, you're going to get weird things going on if you move them after a good mechanical sync, or even a unison sync or whatever. But here, all right, I'm going to bring this up straight up, and you can see it's on 0. Okay, now I'm going to go a quarter turn, and you would think that it would go, roughly 7 thousandths, 7 to 8. 4 times 7 is, 28, so that'd be 28 thousandths. So we should get 7 thousandths per quarter rev. So anyway, here we go. Watch this. I'm going to turn a quarter, and whoop, there. So we got 9. Okay. So that's the first step. We move 9, which is more than 7. The second step, we move 5 thousandths. Okay, let's do it counting on my fingers. Yeah. Okay. So we got 14 now. 1, 2, 3 thousandths, maybe 4. Okay. Now you'd think when I go up here we'd be at 30. Let's see what we get. So my point is, if you have 3 of these things and they're all separate, which they are, and you turn this one a quarter turn, and this one a quarter turn, and this one a quarter turn, you probably didn't really turn them a quarter turn. You turned them something other. So just something to be aware of, I guess. So just thought I'd share that. Okay, the reason I'm making this video is because I took my number 3 carburetor apart to make a side idle, modification to my H1 carbs. Okay, well, in that experiment, I found the problem I showed you in the previous portion of this video, where when you turn this, it may or may not raise the slide equally per quarter rev. Okay, so all right, big deal, right? Maybe. When I tore my bike apart to experiment with one of the slides, I took the where is it? Whatever. I took this section all apart, dropped the rod out of it, and I was messing around, and then I just put it all back together, and I stuck the number 3 slide assembly right back into the carb. Okay, the next time I fired it up, it was smoking real heavy on number 3, the one I had tore apart. So I'm like, okay, you know, and I knew probably it had to do something with me messing with that carb, okay. So I went where I was going, and I came back, and a couple days later I looked at it. All right, so what I found was I stuck a gauge rod or numbers drill under my slides, you know, so I stuck it under here, number 1, I stuck it under number 2, stuck it under number 3, okay? And what I found was that number 3 was 10 thousandths lower than 1 and 2. Okay, so you're like, oh, big deal, 10 thousandths, right? It kind of is. Now, all I did was took that, on my bike it's about a 177 drill bit that happens to fit underneath those at an idle, okay? So I just stuck it under there and set all 3 back to, I didn't have to move these 2, but this one I set it back to 177, fired up the bike, the smoke was gone. So I'm like, oh, okay, learned something new. So you might say, well, 10 thousandths isn't a whole lot, but on the front end of these slides, okay, where we're dumping the fuel out, okay, mine, when it's idling, has about a 50 thousandths opening in here, okay, right down in here. So if, you know, 10 thousandths out of 177 ain't a bunch, but 10 thousandths out of 50 is 20%. There's my point. Okay, so it was 20% off from where it had previously been. Like I say, all I did was stick the 177 back underneath all 3 of these, you know, got them all the same is what I'm trying to say, and the smoke was gone. Okay, so that's basically the point. These, and in all in reality, this type of idle adjustment is actually way more precise because it depends solely on the thread pitch. Okay, if I move that a quarter turn, it's going to drop 7 thousandths, and the slide's going to drop 7 thousandths. Everything's great. Okay, you're not going to lose your sync so much with these. Now, you know, obviously I'm converting to this, so it's going to be an issue in that regard. And I do believe the syncs are key to developing torque at the low end and getting good idles, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, and as you can see, let's see if we can see this. Well, getting out of the light. There. Okay, see how it's gouged out, you know, right in here on the ramp? And that's just from people, you know, adjusting the idle. The other thing might be, let's see if this will focus, you know, we don't know how concentric this needle was machined, okay? You know, so, you know, I'm just bringing this up to just to say that if you turn, you know, your number 3 a quarter turn, your number 2 a quarter turn, your number 1 a quarter turn, you probably have just screwed it all back up as far as sync goes, okay? And sometime in the future I will make a little video on how I do a quickie sync from right where they're sitting, okay? And it's no different than any of the other ones. Like I said, I stick a 177 gauge in here, okay, and make them all the same. That way I'm pretty darn sure these are really close to the same, okay? And if I want to make an idle adjustment, I adjust my idle, I go back and get the average of what it is and put a drill rod in there, or numbers drill, and do that. But I'll probably make a video of that sometime. So anyway, that's my point. I hope I made sense out of what I was saying. Thanks.